Welcome to another episode of Music Therapy. I am John, your resident therapist, and today we are listening to Nova Rockafeller's Lost Girls. Let's get right into it.
We were meant to do much, kids in a system that nobody loves. Sitting in bus stations, sun coming up, nowhere to sleep, so we need to find drugs. All we had was us screaming, don't give up. Barely 15, but we had to grow up. Arms full of cuts and nobody to trust. How can you have dreams and you're us?
Wow, so being lost, having that instability growing up, means that you don't feel safe, and if you don't feel safe, you can't grow. And yeah, I mean, this is horrifying already.
Sleep, so we need to find drugs. All we had was us screaming, don't give up. Barely 15, but we had to grow up. Arms full of cuts and nobody to trust. How can you have dreams and you're us?
Wow, so self-harm, no one in your corner. I cannot imagine what that's like.
I was always hanging with the lost girls. They're running from the cops, seeing a lot of girls. Can I crash at your house? Nowhere to go, girls. Now the escorts are overdose girls. Oh, thanks you'll sell for a little more liquor.
Wow, I've never heard her vocalize like that. She is so talented and brilliant. I think there's such a link between rough childhoods and addiction. We know, for instance, like the average adverse childhood experience score is like 6 out of 10, and the higher the score is, the more traumatized you are for people in addiction. So the worse your childhood is, the increased predilection people have for drugs and alcohol.
Now you're homesick for a place that you've never known. Ooh, all we know is climbing fences in the dark. And all we know is growing up was way too hard.
Wow. Just when you're growing up and you have a really difficult environment, it is hard, but most people don't have it hard. And ideally, your childhood shouldn't be a challenge to stay alive every day. And people can get acclimated to it, and they don't even realize how hard and horrifying their environment is because they're so conditioned to it.
Was way too hard. All we know is we missed who we lost in the park.
Oh, like they missed their childhood self, missed who they lost in the park. Like something bad happened there, and they were never able to go back to who they were.
And all we know is perfect people that we are. Nowhere to go but found someone to boo. Someone got drugs so tonight it's the moon. Got no one to be and got nothing to do. Barely 15 when we dropped out of school. No one to care, nobody to call. Wearing whatever we steal from the mall. Lost a few on the way, paint their names on the walls. I swear that it wasn't our fault.
So she's doing what she needs to stay alive. Stealing, lying, cheating, skipping school. And it's a different thing to steal out of necessity than steal out of like passion or steal out of just because it's fun. If you're stealing out of necessity, like I think that is totally different than just stealing for leisure. And a lot of people will never fully know what it's like to steal out of necessity, unless you really are like homeless, and you need to steal something in order to survive.
We steal from the mall, lost a few on the way, paint their names on the walls. I swear that it wasn't our fault. I was always hanging with the lost boys. They're running from the cops, done a lot, boys. They're out there selling rocks, popping off, boys.
Oh yes, the hustle and bustle of these teenage drug dealers, feeling like they need drugs to find themselves, but really they're just losing who they are in a downward spiral.
Now they're doing drugs, so they got shot, boys. Oh.
Hey, they got shot? Yeah, I mean, there is a pretty big link between being involved in the narcotic trafficking game and violence, and you never know what you're getting into, especially being so young. And it is attractive to younger people to take on risks and to feel like you're doing something original, but that is uncalculated, impulsive, and will ultimately self-destruct you. So I can see, though, the allure of the teenage mind and how, these lost boys, these lost girls are alluring because they have a lot of victimizing circumstances, and they're trying to make the best of it through the only ways they know how, which is typically like drugs, alcohol, self-harm, maladaptive skills.
They're out there selling rocks, popping off, boys. Now they're doing drugs, so they got shot, boys. Oh, the things you'll do to make time pass quicker. Ooh, ooh. Now you're dope sick in a highway motel alone. Ooh, ooh. All we know is climbing fences in the dark. And all we know is growing up was way too hard. And all we know is we miss who we lost in the park. And all we know is perfect people that we are. And all we know is climbing fences in the dark. Much is in a system that nobody loves. Is growing up was way too hard.
Say kissing or dissing the system that we should love.
Is in the dark. Much is in a system that nobody loves.
Oh, kissing the system that nobody loves. That's deep. Like, people act like they love it, but they're putting on a front. They're kissing. They're not really in love with it. They're just putting on the show.
Is growing up was way too hard. It's not coming up, nowhere to sleep, so we need to find drugs. Is we miss who we love.
And it's fascinating. Like, a lot of drugs substitute for real connection, and they make you feel warm inside temporarily, and then you wake up under a bridge somewhere and you're freezing, and it's poses as connection. And that's what I've seen in working with addiction, is that people are seeking out something, those warm fuzzy feelings inside, whether that's through alcohol, through drugs, and it is a good temporary fix, but long term, absolutely not. And there's a clinical term called parentification, is when you have to take care of your parents as a child because they aren't doing what they need to do for you. And the roles are effectively switched. And what that means is the child never had a real chance of being a child because they had to play the parent card when their parents weren't there. What a raw, emotional song. She has such an incredible voice, and that harmony, world class. Love Nova Rockefeller. Thank you so much for recommending this song. I hope this relates. Hope you learned something. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next music therapy episode.